I'm calling this next Devo in the series on sustainability, even the Hyrax. Do you know what a Hyrax is? I had never even heard of it. Psalm 104 might be the best chapter on sustainability, so we're going to pull it apart together. The imagery and the verbiage and the reality and the hope of the scripture, it's the most sustainable fabric there is when we're weaving a life for ourselves and our families. God is described here as being wrapped in light as with a garment, the heavens being his tent. We read that the clouds are his chariot, the winds his messengers, and the earth is set and cannot be moved. If we read no further, that's a picture of sustainability in its best form. Fabric to clothe, safety overhead, a majestic Lord keeping everything in place, set. Again, garment is mentioned in verse 6, where water covers the earth is being mentioned, and how even the water ebbs and flows at the direction of the Creator over the mountains, down to the valleys, but never across the boundaries set by him. We are safely sustained in the worst of floods and the torrents of rain. Remember the promise that water will not cover the earth again, that rainbow of promise. Next, we read how he waters all the animals on the land and in the air, and reminds us that birds sing among the branches. He waters the grass and the plants and brings food from the earth to sustain us all. In verse 15, wine, oil, and bread are mentioned as something to gladden our hearts, to make our faces shine and sustain us. So let's stop here a second. The reference to bread here is not the kind we eat and swallow, but rather the bread that sustains our hearts, Jesus. Our hearts so need sustainability, and it's only from the bread of life. Then we're told that the birds have nests, storks have their homes, wild goats have the high mountains, and the Hyrax has their crags. A Hyrax is a little animal, maybe some call it a rock rabbit today, but they're kin to the elephant because they're tiny, but they have tusks, and God provides homes for the obscure and the uncommon. I thought that was amazing. Let's go on. The moon marks the seasons. The sun knows when to set. Isn't that so cool? Creation and its movements are ordered, commanded, and sustained by God. And then we're mentioned in verse 23. People go out to work and labor till evening, and we're told how God in his wisdom made it all. On to the sea, where creatures live beyond number, and we're told that creatures look to God to give them food at the proper time. Yes, we can set up sustainable practices hoping for a better future, but God himself sustains, and he alone, it says in verse 30, renews the face of the ground. I think about the ground in my own yard. Drought makes the grass suffer, ice settles in on the winter and kills everything, and then spring arrives and shoots of growth come again. The face of the ground is once again renewed. And at the end of the chapter, we are told that the glory of the Lord endures forever, and this writer will sing all of his life in praise to the mighty God that looks after the earth, touches the mountains, and sustains every living thing, even the Hyrax.